Good morning, Mr. Kuntz.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Okay, you're with Tawana Wilson.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Okay. We're on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Tawana Nicole Wilson. File number is 22-02733. Appears for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Dustin Kuntz for Tawana Wilson. She is to my left in the conference room and we're appearing by Zoom.
Okay. Today was the date and time set for sentencing. I have here a pre-sentence report and recommendation. Did you get a copy of that report?
We did, Your Honor.
Okay. Are we making any updates, corrections, or deletions?
There's just one thing I noticed. On the very first page under victim statement, there's a box that says accident involved, and I don't know if there was an accident in this case, so that should be checked, I think.
Okay, an accident was involved in this matter.
Yeah, just a single car accident, but accident nonetheless.
Okay, I'll update that. Any additional changes?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you can proceed to allocution.
Thank you, Your Honor. I don't know that I can say much about Tawana that her actions don't already say. She has, since this incident, she's taken things very seriously, contacting our office pretty much right away. Incredibly distressed at the time and even in the months since then, not knowing what all this would mean for her. And sometimes people in a situation like hers will run from their problems, even if the problems are of their own making. Tawana's done the exact opposite. She's been proactive in remaining sober for, let's see, about 5.5 months now since the incident. She has completed a MAD victims impact panel ahead of this sentencing. She's taken a highway safety course. She's had an independent assessment done. She's done a lot, and I think looking at her history writ large, I think says a lot too, because aside from I think a misdemeanor retail fraud for which she successfully completed height of probation in the early to mid 90s, this is her first run-in with the justice system. It's her first OWI, and while her BAC was awfully high in this incident, it's still an isolated thing. It was, we were actually just talking right before the court went live about how in a lot of these highway safety classes, the thing you're taught is you have to have a plan. If you're going to go out, make a plan. And Tawana actually did that. The plan was to go out for dinner and a single margarita. The problem was she didn't stick to the plan, because then they met up with some other friends, went out to a club, and she continued drinking and let her decision-making get so impaired that she decided she should drive home rather than get an Uber. So she did the first part right. She made the plan, she just didn't stick to it, and here we are. But I think anything the court would want to achieve with a term of probation has already been achieved. She's learned her lesson. She's educated herself even further with the impact panel, with the highway safety class. So all that being said, Your Honor, I think this is a case, well, this is the type of misdemeanor where a fines and costs sentence is presumed, and I think that presumption is warranted here. She's met the she's met the goals of rehabilitation that probation could offer. So we just asked for a fines and cost sentence and let Tawana get back to continuing to better herself. Thank you.
Thank you. And does your client wish to make a statement on her own behalf?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to make a statement, please. I just wanted to. I'm sorry, do I say something now?
You can proceed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to apologize to the court and apologize to the victims of intoxicated drivers. I feel really guilty about this, and it's been on my mind ever since I'm in therapy because of it, not only solely because of it, but I talk about it a lot in therapy because I feel like I could have hurt somebody, even have injured an animal or something, even though I didn't hurt anyone. I hit a dirt pile and, you know, I injured myself, but I didn't injure anyone else, but I could have. And I feel really bad. And I just want you to know that I will never, ever drive after drinking ever again. That is the furthest thing from my mind at this point. So I just want you to know that I made a bad decision at the time, and it will never happen. It's so far out of character for me. Thank you.
And thank you for your candor before the court. I've had an opportunity to review your prior criminal history, which is consistent with what was stated in the pre-sentence report and what was reiterated by your attorney. I've reviewed the pre-sentence report. You are the classic candidate to meet the presumption that oversight or further judicial oversight is needed even at a minimal basis. If at any point I would have ordered you to complete the things that you've already completed. So you've taken your own initiative to complete those actions. I do have here a receipt of completion of the victim impact panel. And there was a prevention and training services assessment and notice of completion as well as a letter signed from a clinically certified advanced alcohol and drug counselor. And so you're doing all the things or have been doing all the things that the court would have ordered you to do, but you've done them on your own. I do believe that you've conveyed remorse, not just before the court, but also in your personal spaces. And then also you even conveyed it at the time of your pre-sentence interview. It states here that you scored an overall low risk category, making minimal judicial intervention appropriate. And you had no elevated domain. So there's no other domains outside of what where before the court instantly that would cause the court to believe there may be an underlying issue. And so with that being stated, the court will issue a sentence of fines and costs only. There's a $75 crime victim rights fee that will be assessed. It's a $50 state minimum cost. And that's per statute. So those are mandatory fees.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then you have a $384.95 to be exact fee that you owe back to the Lansing Police Department for responding to this incident. And then I'm also going to assess this a fine of $300. The total owed of $809.95. And you can make payments on that or pay in full depending on your financial situation. How do you wish to make payment on that, ma'am?
I will pay it in full as of today.
Okay, you can make payment online at the court website using your case number, or you can come up to the court, make payment in person at the criminal traffic window. You can also mail check or money order to the court. Just make sure you attach this case number to that if you're gonna direct anything by mail, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions at this time?
No, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, and good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Jeffrey Lynn Smith, file number 22-03158. Appearance, please.
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
An Assistant Public Defender Sarah Donnelly on behalf of the defendant Jeffrey Smith, who is hearing in person and standing to my right.
How are you today, Mr. Smith?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm doing pretty well. Are we feeling good today?
Yes.
Okay. Not under the influence at all?
No.
Okay. Today was the date time set for a final pretrial on a fail to obey. And my understanding is that there is a no contest plea, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Smith has dementia. He doesn't recall all the facts of that evening. So the city has no objections to the contest.
The city has to make their own objections. Is the city objecting?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, and so, let's see, you raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury.
Yes.
Thank you. So put your hand down. You're being charged here, sir, today with one count of failure to obey a police officer. You understand that? You understand that you have the right to proceed to a trial in this matter? You have the right to a jury trial. You understand that? And you understand at the time of jury trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence. So you're innocent until the city can put forth sufficient evidence to prove each element of the charge of failure to obey police officer. And they have to prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand that?
Yes.
You want to give up those rights so far? Okay. And then you also have the right to question or cross-examine any other witnesses that they bring to court against you. You understand that?
Yeah.
You have the right to call your own witnesses. Or you can present it. Do you need to sit down, sir? Or you can present evidence that you believe would further a defense to the charge of failure to obey a police officer. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. And you want to give up that right?
Yeah.
Anybody threatening you to get you to waive your rights today?
No.
Any promises being made to you in exchange for you waiving your rights?
No.
You understand that a guilty plea could have impact on any travel or immigration status, or I should say, not a guilty plea in this case, this is no contest, but a conviction could have impact on travel or immigration status you may be seeking. Okay, and you may have to report a conviction if you try to apply for a job or anything. No, you understand that, correct? Okay. And you don't recall this incident, sir?
No, no.
Okay. I have an advice of rights of the information sheet. Is that your signature?
Yes, it is.
Okay, you understand all of these rights?
Yeah.
Any questions about any of these rights?
No.
Okay, as to the charge of failure to obey a police officer. Do you plead guilty, not guilty, stand mute, or are you pleading no contest?
No contact.
Thank you. I have a police report here from the Lansing Police Department. Case number 225190546, dated for November 4th, 2022 at 10:55 p.m. State's officers were dispatched to the area of 1424 Georgetown Boulevard, Apartment A, which is in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, state of Michigan, for a troublesome subject. Dispatched advised the caller, who was a young boy, was calling and stating his grandmother's boyfriend was assaulting his sister. On arrival to the resident, no assault was established. The grandmother simply wanted Smith to leave the residence. Smith was verbally and physically non-compliant, resulting in a response to resistance. Smith was detained, given an appearance citation for hinder and oppose, and transported to his home residence. Let's see, it looks like officers interviewed someone by the name of Dickey. Dickey, the homeowner, wanted Smith to leave the premise. Officers asked Smith multiple times to exit the residence with them. He refused verbally and said he was not leaving. Officer began giving Smith commands to leave the residence or he would be escorted out. Smith continued to verbally state he was not leaving and ignored the officer's command to leave. Any additional factual basis from the city?
Nothing from the city, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Donnelly, are you satisfied with the factual basis?
I am, Your Honor, thank you.
The court is also satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your no contest plea. I find the reason for your no contest plea to be appropriate. I find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. How long was he in custody?
Your Honor, he was in custody for 15 days. I don't know if it was entirely for this case. It was, he has the state matter. I know that he did at least 1 day before being arraigned on the bench warrant on this one, though. But that's what I'd be asking is time served, given the fact that he doesn't have any money and he wouldn't be able to pay fines and costs.
Probably a couple of days on this. Let's see. Because I remanded him 1 day, as well, one time at least. I don't know how long he was there before he was released. Okay. I'll credit your time served. Your client is indigent.
Yes, Your Honor.
We'll waive fines. Do you have any questions today, sir?
No, I do not.
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing from the city, Your Honor.
And nothing for defense. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're all set.
Thank you.
Tiana Alexander,
Have a nice day.
same to you, sir. Morning, Mr. Ray.
Just want to say good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good to see you. We getting ready for your trial.
Apparently Buchanan is running 1-2 today. No contact with the victim until just this morning. She showed up.
Who's over there? Pfeiffer, who's running that trial?
Gray.
Oh, okay. Well, it sounds like it's gonna be busy in the building. Well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
States.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Your Honor, I need to speak with Ms. Alexander before we proceed.
Okay, sounds good. I have a Javon Shaw, who's representing.
He's here for a show cause.
Okay, sounds good. And Montano.
I'm running on Montano, and I think that's Tyrone Keys as well. I'm running on him.
Yeah, he won't He won't start his audio though. He's been here for like 15 minutes listening to nothing. He's being dismissed.
Yes.
We flash our special sign for him. If you want to log in, we'll put you in a room with Ms. Alexander. And then you're ready on Montana.
Yes.
Sylvia Montano, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Very good. We're on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Sylvia Montano. File numbers are 22L2740841 and 842. Council appearance.
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
And Assistant Public Defender Sarah Donnelly on behalf of defendant Sylvia Montana, who is appearing separately by video.
Okay, today was the date that we reset the pretrial. It looks like we were waiting for Secretary of State to schedule an appointment for her restoration. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, the Secretary of State has set a restoration hearing. It is for April 7th. So we'd be requesting an adjournment to after that. I'm not exactly sure if they're gonna have a decision on April 7th or how long it would take, but I think we could at least set it for after that.
Yeah, it would be too easy for them to have the decision on the same day. I don't think they would.
Yes, so if whenever the court feels it would be appropriate after that date.
Let's go in today. May 2nd at 9 a.m. How many questions today for the court, Ms. Montano?
No, I don't. Thank you.
No problem. Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing for the city, Your Honor.
Not for defense, thank you.
Okay, you're all set, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Keys still doesn't want to. So. Let's see, Mr. Lee is here. Can you put him in the room, please? We're on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Javon Shaw. This is file number 21L2676791. Mr. Shaw, can you hear me?
I couldn't hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Today's the date set for a show cause. Do you know why?
No.
Okay, you had a balance that you've owed for almost a year. Are you planning to pay that, sir?
I don't have any way at the moment.
You don't have any what?
I don't have any income.
Okay, are you not employed, sir?
No.
Okay, are you still in treatment at Bridges?
Yes, just for the moment, yes.
Okay. You know how long you're gonna be there?
They're
I'm not sure because it's short term.
telling that they're looking for placement for you right now.
They're looking for placement for me.
Okay. I will note that in the file, so maybe we'll start getting these show causes on this. You're all set, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That, let's see. Corey Hartley. Who's representing Corey Hartley?
That is Mr. Lee.
Did you take your position?
Nope.
Didn't you tell her to take it? Thought you told her to take it. Ms. Hardwick?
Yes. Hi.
I told you that you needed to appear to take care of your fingerprints and you didn't do that.
Oh. My apologies for that, Your Honor. Honestly, it slipped my mind on it. I'm very sorry for that. Man.
So when are you gonna get it taken care of?
I come downtown for that.
Correct. You're gonna go downtown to the city hall, but you're going to the police side.
All right. Okay, I could actually probably make it there today. Yeah.
Very good. I'll note that in the file. We're waiting for your attorney and then we can proceed on your matter, okay?
Okay.
Okay, well, Tyrone, please is the special.
Before work, we gotta go.
Jack T. Okay.
Yeah, we're supposed to have this guy in person. So
At 10:30.
You have to put it. You have to put it on speaker.
Oh, there we go. You're good. You're connected.
Okay. It says she is speak. Okay.
They can hear me.
Now I can't see anything. Okay, here we go.
Hi, what's your name?
Tyrone Keys.
Tyrone Keys. Okay, figured out the volume. Mr. Staples, is this being dismissed?
I believe so, Your Honor. I believe this is Ms. Donnelly's client who she was able to provide me a driver's license for. Just let me double check since she's not in here.
Yeah, I was just with her on the phone because I had difficulties with the Zoom.
Yep, That's correct, Your Honor. This case is dismissed. I do have proof of him obtaining his license.
Thank you. You're all set, sir, that your case is dismissed.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. What's your name, ma'am?
Jamie Robinson.
Are we ready on Ms. Alexander? On the record in the matters of the people of the city of Lansing versus Tiana Michelle Alexander, file numbers 22-02467 and 22-03276. Council appearance.
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Tiana Alexander.
Today's the date that was set on one driving while license is suspended and the other is operating while intoxicated. And property damage, city property damage. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we have come to an agreement. Ms. Alexander is prepared to plead guilty to an amended charge of operating while intoxicated first, and an amended charge of allowing a suspended person to drive. The other charges would be
Operating while intoxicated first offense, and then amend the driving while license is suspended to allowing.
Yes.
Is that correct and accurate, Mr. Staples?
That is correct and accurate, Your Honor.
Okay, and Ms. Alexander, you want to accept that offer?
Yes,
Please raise your right hand.
yes,
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony that you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yeah.
You can put your hand down. Okay, Ms. Alexander, you have several rights that you would have to give up in order to accept this offer. One is your right to a jury trial. You want to give that right up?
yes,
Okay, you have the right to the presumption of innocence. So you are innocent until the city can prove you guilty. So you have the right to require them to prove each element of each of the charges being brought against you. They have to prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt at a jury trial. You understand that?
yes,
You want to give up those rights today?
yes,
Okay, that means you're giving up the right to cross-examine or question or confront any of the witnesses that they're gonna call against you. You're gonna give up the right to call your own witnesses or present evidence that you believe would further a defense to these charges. You're gonna give up your right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. You wanna waive all of those rights?
Yeah.
Okay, anybody threatening you to get you to waive your rights today?
no,
Has there been any promises made to you in exchange for you waiving rights?
no,
Are you currently on probation, parole, or out on bond or any other matter?
No.
Okay, you understand that a guilty plea can result in convictions that you may need to report to your employer, particularly on the OWI matter.
Your Honor, one
Yeah.
point of clarification. Ms. Alexander is pleading no contest.
To both.
Both.
Why is she pleading no
She
contest?
has no recollection of the facts of the day, but she accepts the police report and the lab reports as factual.
It's not on the same day. The driving while license suspended was back in December, I'm sorry, maybe it was issued separately, September 11th, 2022.
Yeah, this was in July 21. Yeah, okay. I probably need just another minute to confirm it. Because,
Okay, you can go back and look. We're off the
yeah,
record.
we were talking about who wouldn't drive. So, thank you.
No problem. And then are you representing Corey Hardwick?
Yes,
You need to speak to her as well.
yeah, and so. maybe right
Okay.
after.
Who's on the B13 1DL? The sir, the gentleman with the black t-shirt on and the glasses. Can you unmute and tell me your name?
Dominic Salazar. I have 9:30. My attorney is Sarah Donnelly.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
She just stepped out briefly. She pushed probably logging.
Oh, is that a library? Oh, I didn't know that. Excellent. Oh, this is a library. Nicholas, could you put Miss Alexander in breakout room 4 with me, please?
Salazar, Robinson, and Ms. Graham.
We're on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Dominic Salazar, file number 23-002010D. Council appearance.
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
And Assistant Public Defender Sarah Donnelly on behalf of defendant Dominic Salazar, who is appearing separately by video.
Today's the date that was set or reset for pretrial. We were waiting for Mr. Salazar to get a substance abuse assessment. How are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Salazar did do the interview for the assessment yesterday at Pat's. So we have, so if we could be given 30 days from today, I expect to have that report in and offer in the city.
April 18th at 9 a.m. Mr. Salazar, do you have any questions for the court today?
No, Your Honor, I do not at the moment.
Okay, you're all set, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, before going on with Mr. Graham, I do need to speak to the city attorney, but I am ready to Ms. Robinson.
Oh. The record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Jamie Robinson, file number 22-00449, council appearance.
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
Assistant Public Defender Sarah Donnelly on behalf of the defendant Jamie Robinson, appearing separately by video.
Today was the date that was set for reset for pretrial to allow Ms. Robinson to clear a suspension. How are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, Ms. Robinson did clear the suspension. The city attorney would like to see her license. So at this time, Ms. Robinson, we'd be requesting an adjournment to give her you time to go to the Secretary of State to get your license again. At this time, Ms. Robinson, would you be okay with another 30 days to do that?
Yeah, that's fine.
April 18th at 9 a.m.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing for the city, Your Honor.
And no for defense. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're all set, Ms. Robinson.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Email him instead of do a breakout, Your Honor. You want to?
Are you ready, Ms. Alexander?
Yes, we are. We're prepared to proceed.
Okay, well, we can't do a no contest plea without someone providing me a report.
I can email you this report right now.
I need you to highlight the sections that are relevant.
Okay.
Or you can email, you can print it, and you can use the highlighter, either way.
There.
Stoudemire, yes, and
You said you did not need to speak to Whitney Graham?
I'm
Are
sorry.
you ready on Whitney Graham?
No, I'm gonna have to.
Oh, you talked to the city attorney.
Yeah. Well, if we're not on the record, if you want to just put me in breakout room, I'll just talk to them real quick. Be faster. Are you?
I'll add him to room 2. Staples, I'm putting you in room 3. Pearl, Robert Pearl's failed to appear.
Yes, I don't know.
I don't really like them. I usually use the colorful ones. I keep them.
If you need binder clips, let me know. I have so many, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Really?
Big ones, little ones, jumbo ones, colored ones.
I don't see Joanna Hamilton. Joanna Hamilton? Okay, page 1. Are we ready on the scram?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're on the record in the matters of the people of the city of Lansing versus Whitney Don Graham. File numbers 22L2691751 and 52. Council appearance.
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
An Assistant Public Defender Sarah Dowling on behalf of the defendant Whitney Graham, who is present and standing to my right.
How are you, Ms. Graham?
Fine, you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Today's the date and the time that was set for pre-trials. I have driving unregistered and then a failure to display ops. How are we proceeding, council?
Your Honor, at this time, the city is willing to dismiss the failure to display a valid license in 22L2697520. In exchange, she'll plead guilty to the driving an unregistered vehicle in 22L2691751 OT.
Mr. Staples.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Dismiss this one. And she's gonna plead to the unregistered vehicle.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. That's correct, Ms. Graham?
Yes.
Oh. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
Put your hand down. I have an advice of rights and plea information sheet. It has today's date on it. Is that your signature?
Yes.
Can you read this document?
Yes.
You
Sign my rights, right?
Right, but did you read the rights before you signed?
No, we didn't go, I went over, you're going over the rights. If you, would you want to read that so we can?
Did you want to read your rights?
Or you know that we were going over the right to waive jury.
Oh, yeah. I don't want a jury, yeah.
Okay, but that's not that's not what I asked you. Did you read, no, just stand there. Did you read this document before you signed it?
No, ma'am.
Okay, do you understand the rights that are on here?
Yeah, I don't want a jury.
No, there's more than just a right to a jury on here. Did you know that?
No.
Okay. Oh, you have a copy there? Yeah.
Yeah, I understand all that. Oh, yeah.
Job.
You understand your rights now, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you want to give up all of those rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you understand that you'd be giving up your right to a jury trial, you'll be giving up your right to the presumption of innocence, meaning you're innocent until the city can prove you guilty. You gonna give up that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you have the right to have the city prove each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to have the witnesses brought in for you to confront them or cross-examine them in court. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that you have the right to call your own witnesses or present evidence that you think would further a defense of this charge. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you want to give up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody threatening you to get you to give up the rights?
No.
Any promises being made to you in exchange for you waiving your rights?
No, ma'am.
And are you pleading guilty because you believe you're guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
As to the charge of driving an unregistered vehicle, how do you plead, ma'am?
Not guilty. Oh, I'm sorry, guilty. Sorry,
Okay.
I apologize.
No
Guilty.
problem. Actual basis.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, Whitney, on January 25th of 2022, were you driving a vehicle on or about Kavanaugh Street at or near Mount Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in the city of Lansing?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and at that time, that Chrysler, was it registered?
No, ma'am.
All right, and at the time when you were driving it, did you know that it was unregistered?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you were pulled over and cited for having an unregistered vehicle, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Any fine? I'm sorry, any questions from the city?
Nothing from the city, Your Honor.
Okay. The fine is $200. The court satisfied with the factual basis. When can you make payment?
What's today? Today's Wednesday, right?
Today's Tuesday.
Can we start possibly this Friday?
How much you gonna pay?
$25?
You gonna pay $25 on the first?
Yeah.
Is that what's being, are you paying this yourself or are you getting help paying?
Either however I can get it, I'm just gonna get the money. And
Okay. because
probably me,
your
most of
attorney-
it myself.
Your attorney was talking to someone back there.
Oh, no, I'm gonna pay it.
Okay, you're gonna pay it?
Somebody might have to give me a few dollars, but it's okay.
Okay, got it. So
I'll
you're
pay
gonna
it.
pay $25 on the first?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then when you gonna pay the other 175?
Yes.
Make it easy for
Yeah.
yourself on the first, at $25.
Correct. Yeah, we do that.
$25 per month until paid in full?
Yeah,
Do you know how to make payment?
come down here.
That's the easiest way for you, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay, you do have the option of making a payment online if you use this case number too, but if it's easier for you to come down, you just come down to the criminal traffic window, which is on this floor,
Can
okay?
I call and do?
They
it on my
don't take it
debit
over the
card?
phone,
Okay.
but you can do it online, okay? Do you have any questions?
Okay.
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing for the city, Your Honor.
And nothing for defense, thank you.
Okay, you're all set, Ms. Graham.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
Same to you.
Your Honor, on Robert Pearl, I did get a hold of his mother yesterday, and did you put a 48-hour hold in case I could get a hold of him?
Oh, absolutely. 48-hour hold. Do you know how many times he's missed?
Oh, I know.
work? You can't do a 48-hour hold
Okay.
on that. They'll look at me like I'm crazy.
I had asked, thank you.
I mean, if you find them, we can always quash it.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Are we ready on Miss Alexander?
Yes, we are. Your Honor.
Miss Alexander, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, we're back on the record in the matters of the people of the city of Lansing versus Tiana Alexander as to file number ending in 3276. There's a no contest plea. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And what is the purpose of the plea, the no contest plea?
The no contest plea is to the operating while intoxicated first.
No, I know that, but why?
Oh, because she has no recollection of the day.
Oh, sounds good. Okay, and I was going over your rights, Ms. Alexander, when we went off the record for you to have further discussion with your attorney. Do you understand your rights in this matter, that you would be given up in order to enter a no contest plea as to the OWI, or operating while intoxicated first, and as to the driving while license suspended? You understand the rights you're giving up?
Yeah.
Okay, so that includes your right to the presumption of innocence and the right to have the city prove each element of the charge or charges being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. That includes your right to remain silent and not have silence be used against you. It includes your right to have a jury trial and to question and confront any of the witnesses the prosecution intends to call, or call your own witnesses to a trial or present evidence that you believe would further a defense. You want to give up each of those rights?
Yeah.
Okay, anybody threatening you to get you to waive your rights? Okay, and I put you under oath before we went off the record, but you're still under oath, ma'am. Any promises being made to you in order to get you to waive your rights today?
No.
Okay, you were not on probation, parole, or on bond on any other matter, correct?
Yeah.
And you understand that a conviction, particularly on the operating while intoxicated, could result in you having to report a conviction to your employer, either your current employer or to a future employer. You understand that?
Yeah.
You also may have an impact on some travel or immigration status, like if you wanted to go to Canada for the weekend, that you could impact that by entering a no contest plea on this file. You understand that?
I'm sorry. No, I don't understand that.
If you get a certain countries who don't let people with convictions come into, or certain convictions come into their country. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay, and so by getting a conviction, you could be prohibited from entering certain countries, similar to trying to go into Canada. You could be prohibited from that. Did you discuss that at all with your attorney before you decided to enter a plea on this?
No.
Okay, do you have questions about that?
No.
Okay, and so you want, with that understanding, you're still willing to enter into the no contest plea on the OWI, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't have any recollection of the events relative to the OWI?
No.
Is that because you were under the influence?
I'm not sure.
I'm sorry?
I'm not sure. I was told I was unconscious for over an hour and 30 minutes. I don't know why I don't have any memory.
Okay, so it's because you were unconscious probably. Okay, sounds good. And then as to the driving while license is suspended, are you pleading guilty to that because you believe you're guilty? Or are you
Yes.
pleading to the amended allowing a suspended person, that is? Okay. Let's see here. I have police report 2151906-374 as to the operating while intoxicated. First, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty? Stand mute, or are you pleading no contest?
For the OWI, I'm pleading no contest.
Okay. This police report states that on or about July 10, 2021, at approximately 7:25 in the morning, officers were dispatched to Rainy Park located at 3201 East Michigan Ave in reference to a crash. That address is located in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, state of Michigan. The caller advised that someone crashed their vehicle into a cement tubing. Officers arrived on scene and made contact with the driver. That driver was identified as Tiana Alexander, who was placed under arrest for operating while intoxicated. It says the officers arrived and observed the accused vehicle crash into large cement construction tubing on the east side of the Fandor parking lot adjacent to Rainy Park. The defendant was in the driver's seat of the vehicle. The airbags were deployed. It appeared that the defendant was driving eastbound through the parking lot, ran a stop sign, drove off the pavement and into the embankment, drove through a chain link fence, then crashed into a large cement tubing. Alexander had a strong smell of intoxicants on her breath. Her eyes were glassy. Alexander was slurring her speech, was saying nonsensical things, and was extremely difficult to understand at times. It appeared or it seemed that Alexander was disoriented and unaware that she had crashed a vehicle. Alexander consented to a preliminary breath test and blew a 0.219 blood alcohol content. And she also underwent a blood kit draw by the Michigan State Police and was transported to Sparrow Hospital. Any additional factual basis?
Nothing from the city, Your Honor, unless you would like me to read the MSP report.
I do have it actually highlighted here.
Okay.
It does say that the fever lab report, blood alcohol results were 0.228 grams of alcohol per 100 milliliters of blood.
Nothing further from the city, Your Honor.
Anything from you on that
Nothing
file?
for the defense, Your Honor.
Okay, I find your reason for a no contest plea on that file to be appropriate. Your plea on that is made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. As to file number ending in 2467, the amended charges allowing a suspended person, you have already indicated that you understood your rights. We've already indicated that you are entering a plea because you believe you are guilty, but as to that charge, are you pleading guilty, not guilty, standing mute? How do you proceed, ma'am?
Guilty.
Factual basis, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Alexander, on or about September 11th of 2022, were you driving on Gray Street at or near Dakin Street in the city of Lansing, County of Ingham, State of Michigan?
I was parked, but yes.
Okay. And at that time, did you allow a person with a suspended license to be the driver of the vehicle?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any questions from the city?
Nothing from the city, Your Honor.
For the satisfied with the factual basis, I'll accept your plea. Find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. On the OWI, you're being referred to probation so they can provide the court with a pre-sentence report. You need to report to probation in person within the next 48 hours. So that means 10 o'clock on Thursday, you need to be or have already met with our probation department. Okay, ma'am?
I have physical therapy, speech therapy, OT, and my psychologist tomorrow. I'm not sure when I will be able to find a ride there.
Okay, that's a personal issue, ma'am, because you could have appeared in court today. Your attorney could have advised you that this is common practice. You get 48 hours to report to our probation department after you enter a plea, okay?
Okay.
So that means you got today, you got tomorrow, and then you got Thursday morning. But you need to make it happen, okay? Otherwise, you'd be in violation of the court order and a bench warrant can be issued, okay?
Okay. What time does that office close?
It closes at 5 p.m.
Okay.
They're gonna provide the court the pre-sentence report and a recommendation as to how you are to be sentenced. If you've already undergone a substance abuse assessment by a approved party, that should be provided to them so that they don't require you to undergo a new one at your expense, okay?
Okay.
Your sentencing date is gonna be May 9th at 8:30 in the morning. Do you have any questions at this time on that part? As to the allowing a suspended person to operate, your fine is $200. When are you gonna pay that?
Can I set up a payment arrangement?
Absolutely. How much can you pay?
Can I do $50 a month?
When are you gonna make your first payment?
This Friday?
Okay, this Friday is the 17th, so you'll make a payment of $50 per month, beginning March 17th and on the 17th of each month until paid in full, okay?
Okay.
Do you know how to make payment online?
Yeah.
You would go to the court website and use this case number that ends in 2467 if you wanted to do a payment online. You can also make payment while you're up at the court, in person at the criminal traffic window, or you can mail a check or money order with this case number in it to the court to make payment as well. Okay, ma'am?
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No.
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing for the city, Your Honor.
Nothing for the defense, Your Honor.
You're all set, Ms. Alexander. Thank you.
Thank you.
You ready, Ms. Hartwick?
Yes, we are ready.
On the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Corey Joanne Hartwick, file number 22-03161. Council appearance.
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Corey Hartwig.
Okay, today was the date that was set for a pre-trial. How are you doing, minutes?
Last we were here, Your Honor, Ms. Hartwig was lacking any of the documents due to some personal tragedies. But she has since obtained her social security card and a replacement state ID. She is going to take the written test at the Secretary of State office within the next 2 weeks and pay her reinstatement fees to obtain her license. So we're asking for a 30-day adjournment to allow her time to complete that process.
Okay. I've had to remind her multiple times to get fingerprinted. And so she said she's gonna come and do it today. If fingerprints aren't done, I'm gonna issue a bench warrant tomorrow. You understand that, Ms. Hartwig?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay. I have a date, 30 days out. No, let's see, we're gonna hold, you're gonna hold this file until tomorrow to make sure prints are done. April 18th at 9:30.
Ready.
Any additional matters for the record?
Thank you.
Nothing for the city, Your Honor.
Nothing for the defense. Thank you.
Okay, you're all set, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Jordan Barnes did not appear.
Not seen.
I don't see some of that. Am I missing something? Says it was set for show cause, but I don't see it on here.
Which one?
Shawan Alfred. Do they pay? Well, it says it was supposed to be set for show cause, but I don't see it. Jordan Bonds failed to appear. Big trouble this year. Okay. Stoudemire.
Yes, ma'am.
On the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus David Adams Stoudemire, file number 22-02413. Appearance, please.
Matt Staples on behalf of the city of Lansing.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of David Stoudemire.
How are you, sir?
Not bad.
Today was the date set for a pre-trial for a knife with over 3-inch blade. How are we proceeding on this?
Your Honor, we have reached an agreement with the prosecutor. Mr. Stoudemire is prepared to plead guilty today to an amended charge of a civil infraction of disturbing peace.
Mr. Staples,
That is correct, Your Honor.
that's correct, sir. You want to accept responsibility? You don't have to plead guilty to a civil infraction. It's not a criminal action. You want to accept responsibility to disturbing the peace?
Yes.
Okay. Who's this young lady in the green coat to you? That's your mom? She's my sorority sister. Did you know that? You giving her a hard time?
No.
Would you say that under oath?
Yeah.
You would say that under oath? Put money on it, that you're not giving her a hard time? Oh, okay. You heard that, Mom? Are you employed, sir?
No.
Okay. Now you gotta pay this fine.
I'm okay.
Oh, you're not giving her a hard time, but she's gotta pay your fines, huh?
I'm okay, bro.
How?
My good job.
When?
So,
It's a nice shirt you got there. That's Ralph Lauren.
thanks.
Why don't you have a job?
Yeah, I have some past felonies, some kind of.
There's plenty of places that will hire people with past felonies.
Yeah, I just recently had one about 2 or 3 weeks ago, but when I found out about my felony. they let me go.
Okay, so you've got applications pending somewhere?
Yeah,
Where?
this place called Resource MFG.
Where else?
Um,
You know, Meyer Warehouse hires people with criminal histories. We applied there.
I've already worked there.
Okay.
They told me I can't work.
Okay, so you can't work there anymore. What are your other options?
find some factories that hire felons.
Okay.
I really just want to see how to go to court.
Before you fully pursued?
Before I fully pursue, but like a child.
Okay, you thought you were gonna go to jail on this or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was a city case. It's very, very low likelihood that you would have served jail time even on the original charge for carrying a knife over 3 inches. There's no allegations that you did anything violent with the knife. Nonetheless, you got a pretty good deal here, but civil infraction. It says you're homeless. That's still accurate.
I live with my mom and dad.
Oh, so you are giving them a hard time.
Not trying to.
So you aren't being honest with the court.
I'm not trying to.
So from what you told me today, everything you told me led to the fact that you're giving them a hard time. How old are you? How old are you?
36.
30. You shouldn't be coming before the court on matters that they need to spend their personal time addressing on your behalf. You know what I was doing for my mom at 36?
Take care of it.
I was taking her to celebrate her 75th birthday in Jamaica at my expense. You're out of order. How many more get out of jail cards do you think you need before they should be free from having to respond to your irresponsibility? You don't know? You don't think it's time for you to grow up? Oh, okay. Because you're not paying this fine, your mom is. Fine is $25. You're all set. We have to, no one, oh yeah, he's representing himself. That's all we have for you. And then Mr. L should be here shortly, I presume. Are you going to, he's appearing in person, so you gotta come down in person too.
All right, sounds good. I think our officer might be zooming in, but I can try to get a hold of him.
He's in my waiting room. He's fine.
Okay, all right, I'll be right down.
Thank you.
Or up, I guess I should say.
Okay, we're on the record in the matters of the people of the city of Lansing versus Rambo L. File numbers 22L2761881 and 883. Council appearance.
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
Okay, and Mr. L, you're proceeding by representing yourself, correct?
Yeah, I'm here by special appearance
Okay, very good.
as the executor and executive beneficiary.
Okay, you can have a seat. Thank you. Today's the date and time set for a formal hearing. I have, I believe, one witness on Zoom. Council, you can proceed.
Officer Vanderwerf, would you state your name for the records,
Oh,
please?
you want to call him? Let me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Swear, man, no worries. Vanderwerf, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. You can proceed.
Mr. Officer Vanderwerf, would you state and spell your name for the record?
Yes, Officer Zachariah Vanderwerf. My first name is spelled Zachariah. Last name is spelled Vanderwerf.
And what is your current job? What do you do for a living?
Currently, I'm a road patrol officer, a police officer with the city of Lansing.
And how long have you held that position?
6 years.
And what about before that?
Prior to being a police officer, I was in the academy, and before that, I worked in sales.
Okay, do you have any formal education other than your time at the academy?
Yes, I have an associate's degree.
Okay, we're here today regarding an event that happened on or about December 3rd of 2022 at approximately 6 p.m. Do you remember that day?
Yes.
Can you tell me what happened at approximately 6 p.m. on that day?
Yes, sir. So I was traveling southbound on King when I observed a pickup truck in front of me that was changing lanes, failing to use its signal. So at that time, I activated my overhead lights on the vehicle to initiate a traffic stop.
Okay, and what happened after you initiated the traffic stop?
When I initiated the traffic stop, I approached the passenger side of the pickup truck, and then I made contact with the driver, who was later identified as a Rambo L.
Okay, and what happened next?
In our contact, he ended up handing me a piece of paper where his photograph was stapled with. At brief glance, when I looked at the piece of paper, it appeared to have what I believe was certain MCL codes that the subject may have typed onto the piece of paper. When I had asked him for a driver's license or identification, he was not really very cooperative. So at that time, I asked for a date of birth, which he did provide me a date of birth, which, you know, with his name on that piece of paper and the date of birth, I could still run him through our lien system. So at that time, I also don't believe I was provided any insurance. I went back to the vehicle, ran his information. And then at that time, I decided to issue him a citation for changing lanes or failing to signal, changing lanes, and failing to display a valid license. And then also the license plate through the system was expired.
Is there anything else of note about that incident?
No, nothing that I can think of other than the fact that the subject was just not really very cooperative on the traffic stop.
Okay, thank you. No more questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. L, did you want to question the witness?
Yes. The document that you were referring to, it was a travel document. I was showing you I was traveling versus driving. And I tried to explain that to you. And then you held me on the side of the road for approximately an hour. I requested a supervisor because they might better understand what I was doing, and you never provided that for me. Is that correct?
That's actually incorrect, because the reason that you were held on the stop for as long as you were is because I was waiting for a supervisor. So when I realized the supervisor was not there, I contacted him by phone, at which time he said he was delayed. And when I came back up to the traffic stop, I did ask if you wanted to wait further for a sergeant, and I don't believe that you did. And then you drove off when you were free to go.
Yes. Is it correct that I was held on the road for approximately an hour waiting for this whole encounter to end?
I do not remember if it was an hour specifically, but I do remember that the time length was probably, I would say probably close to that at the very least.
Well, it was an hour, and it caused me to be late for my son's banquet. And the reason, and I never got to speak to the supervisor. That's all the questions I had.
Okay, any redirects?
No redirect, Your Honor.
Okay, any additional witnesses today?
None from the city.
Okay, Mr. Earl, are you calling any witnesses today, or did you want to give your own testimony?
I would like to, I have some, I have a defense, my
Well,
motion.
Okay, well, you filed a motion?
Yeah, I filed a motion, served across the
When did
city
you file a
attorney.
motion?
It was filed, it was mailed February 18th.
You filed a motion and mailed it February 18th. Did you serve a copy?
To the clerk of the courts and also to the city attorney's office.
Did you receive any motion, sir?
Your Honor, we did receive a motion. It did not have any hearing date stated on it. We had no timetable for a response. I would be happy to respond to the motion on the record orally or provide the court with briefing if they would like.
The court didn't get a copy of the motion in February.
I sent it to the clerk. And
Yeah, typically when that happens, it's just attached to the file. I don't have a copy of any motion.
Well, I did my due diligence. I sent a copy to him. He has his.
Well, I don't know that you did your due diligence, because when you file a motion, you got to get a hearing date for that motion. And so
who's supposed to give me a hearing?
you got to get the hearing date from the clerk's office.
From the clerk's office?
Yeah.
So why did they give me one?
Did you contact them for a hearing date?
I contacted them, yeah.
And asked for
And I
hearing
asked
dates
them,
for your
and I
motion?
asked when was my hearing. They confirmed that it was today.
For your motion.
And I asked, did I have a hearing date? And they said,
And you do have a hearing date, but that's not what I asked you. Did you ask them, did you have a hearing date for your motion?
for my motion?
Yes.
They didn't tell me, but I did provide to him an order for the motion that gave him 21 days to respond.
Okay, you can make your motion before the court because I don't have a copy. You can make it now orally.
Okay, well, now comes the beneficiary for Rambo L, defendant in error here by special appearance, not submitting to the court's jurisdiction, hereby moves the court to strike and dismiss the complaint filed by the officer Zinderbar. Am I pronouncing that right? Sorry if I'm not. For lack of ratification and commencement, no corpus delicti, no plaintiff, lack of jurisdiction, personal jurisdiction. Christina Simmons being appointed as trustee, the prosecutors being appointed as co-trustee, I, Rambo L, an executor and beneficiary of a set of account. Also, I filed a declaration of non-citizenship nationality because I've done a name change. That's why. Oh, let me get back to my motion. Where my point of authorities are the United States District of Columbia Corporation in Volume 20, Corpus Juris Section 1785. We find United States government as a foreign corporations with respect to the states. Since the corporation is fictitious, is a fictitious person, it can't see, speak, smell, or touch itself. It's a fictional. Is a fiction in the real world. It needs a conducting, transmitting utility, allegiance, some sort of connection to a fictional person. Constitutional Amendment number 1, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of a religion prohibiting free exercise thereof, abridging freedom of speech or right of press or right of people peaceful assemble, petition the government for redress of grievance. Number 5, Constitutional Amendment. The right of people should be secure in their person, houses, papers, in effect against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall be issued upon probable cause supported by an oath or affirmation, particularly describing the place search of persons, things to be seized. And then number 7, Constitutional Amendment, suits at common law where value of controversy exceeding $20, the right of the jury trial shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States according to the rules of common law. I asked for a jury trial, I didn't get that. Rambo L is a man, people, but not a person. I was not operating commerce, nor was I a driver on the road for travel. A driver is an employee transporting goods or passengers. Rambo was just merely traveling in my private property. Here are some examples of my Supreme Court constitutional defenses. Number 1, case number 1, the right to travel is part of a liberty where a citizen cannot be deprived of due process under the 5th Amendment, Kent versus Duels, 357 U.S. 116, 125. Case number 2, I have the right to travel freely and unencumbered pursuant to Shapiro versus Thomas, 394 U.S. P. 618. That right is so basic, it doesn't even need to be mentioned. The state of Michigan arbitrarily and erroneously perverted my right into a privilege and issue a license and a fee for it. Murdoch versus Pennsylvania, 319 U.S. 105. Supreme Court trumps everything, says that no state can convert a secured liberty into a privilege and issue a license and fee for it. Case number 4, Shuttle versus Birmingham, Alabama. It shows that I can ignore a license and engage in the right with immunity. Case number 5, Marbury versus Madison, 5 U.S. 137 shows that any law in violation of the Constitution is null and void. Case number 6, Shuttleworth versus Birmingham, 373 U.S. 262 says I may ignore the license and the fee and engage with the right with immunity. That means you can't punish me. And United States versus Bishop defines willfulness as an evil motive or intent to avoid a known duty task under the law with a morality certain. I submit I couldn't have been doing an evil task. I totally followed the Constitution in the Supreme Court. Bryers versus United States says it shows how the judge is supposed to interpret the Constitution, and it's supposed to be interpreted in the favor of me. A.M. Jurisprudence, Volume 16, Section 97 of the Constitutional Law section says it should be received as a liberal interpretation in favor of the citizen, especially true with respects to those who were designated to safeguard the liberty and security of the citizen in regards to both persons and property. See note 31, Bryers versus United States. No state may convert a liberty into a privilege. Murdoch versus Pennsylvania. An appearance ticket is not accusatory instrument. It doesn't confer jurisdiction over the defendant. People versus Gabay, 670 New York 2D 92517. I was not engaged in a commercial trade at the time of the alleged infraction, and I do not proceed to say a license is upon a constitutional detention. Motor vehicle means every description of a carrier drawn by mechanical power used in commercial purposes on a highway. And then there's neither injury nor trespasses any trespasses. All crimes are commercial, 27 CFR 72.11, and every alleged crime has to have a nature and cause and be prosecuted by the name of the people of the state. I don't have a contract with the state. I don't see an injured party. I don't know why I'm here.
Any additional
I
argument on your motion?
would like the court, I would ask the court to dismiss this to failure to state a claim where relief can be granted.
Thank you. You can respond.
Yes, Your Honor. As far as the jurisdictional argument, jurisdiction is proper in that Mr. Rambo L has personally availed himself of the forum. He is here today in the courtroom. And MCR 6008A states that the district court has jurisdiction over all misdemeanors. As far as the justification for the Michigan Code, Motor Vehicle Code violations, MCL 117.3 includes mandatory provisions for a city charter under the Home Rule Cities Act. MCL 117.3K requires a provision for adopting, continuing, amending, and repealing the city ordinances, whether or not provided in its, and then continues, whether or not provided in its charter, a city may adopt a provision of a state statute for which the maximum imprisonment is 93 days, or the Michigan Vehicle Code. The city of Lansing has adopted the Michigan Vehicle Code via chapter 402 of its codified ordinances. Both civil infractions charged against the defendant are violations of that code, to wit, sections 3500 and 2650. Furthermore, the district court is not the place for the defendant to challenge the constitutionality of a state statute. Such jurisdiction is exclusive to the Court of Claims. The jurisdiction of the Court of Claims, as referenced upon in this chapter, is exclusive. That's from MCL 600.4191. Therefore, the Court of Claims has exclusive jurisdiction to hear and determine any claim or demand, statutory or constitutional, against the state. Same site. The present case, the city has merely adopted state law. So that challenge should be brought against the state. Thank you.
The court has heard the argument. I'm first address your motion, Mr. L, and I'm going to deny your motion as clearly indicated in the response by the city. Your claims would be most appropriately brought before the Court of Claims, and so you can't challenge a constitutional issue in this court. Okay, as it relates to the authority and the process to bring this matter before the district court as relates to your civil infractions, you have an expired plate and a failure to signal. Again, a jurisdiction or venue before this court is appropriate. This is a situation or incident that occurred in the area of South MLK, Martin Luther King Boulevard. That's in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, state of Michigan. And so you're subject to the laws and the ordinances of the city of Lansing, but also the laws under the Michigan compiled laws. Here in this district court, we are subject to the Michigan court rules. And so, although I gave leniency with your motion, it was not properly filed and or served, but it also does not comport with the Michigan compiled laws or Michigan court rules. And so for those reasons, it is denied. Now, as to the civil infraction, failed to signal an expired plate from December 3rd, 2022. We did hear the testimony today of one witness, that be a Zachariah Vanderwerf, and he indicated or gave a testimony about a traffic stop occurring at that date and time at the address or location of South Martin Luther King Boulevard in the city of Lansing because of a failure to signal or use a signal, and that he at the time also observed that the license plate was expired. And so you were issued a citation. Not, you've not provided any valid dispute or defense to these civil infractions. You could have appeared and showed information that demonstrated you did have a valid plate at the time, or that you even have one now, which could reduce the citation, but that's not taking place. And so I'm going to sustain both violations of civil infractions. There's a fine of $125 on each. Okay, sir?
My next defense, am I just done, or can I say something else?
You can say something else. I actually, if you had any further defense, but you said.
My next defense would be, Michigan allows 72 hours to register any vehicle when it's first purchased. He never asked for anything. I never got a chance to explain myself on the side of the road.
Okay, do you have proof that you had just purchased it within 72 hours?
I don't have the title.
Okay, thank you, sir. If the defense is not meaningful, if you can't provide any evidence to support that defense. That being said, your fine is $125 on each file. When do you intend to make payment?
Do I have a chance to appeal this?
You can.
I would like to appeal.
Okay, you want to file an appeal? It's the civil infraction?
I want to file an appeal today.
Okay, you can file a motion for reconsideration. But you need to follow Michigan court rules, okay? We don't submit to the sovereign rules, okay? This is, you take that to the sovereign court,
Federal, okay.
okay? You want to address a Michigan or a violation that you believe of your Michigan rights or your rights under the law here, then you need to file it in proportion with our court rules, okay?
What part did I miss?
I didn't say you missed anything. I'm saying if that's what you want to do, if you want a reconsideration,
Oh,
okay?
I want to do it today.
Okay, feel free to file and properly serve it. Thank you, officer. You're to be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. You're all set. Thank you.
I can file that today.
You can file, absolutely.
All right, the clerk should have a form.
I'm sorry?
Is there a form?
No, you need to draft a motion to reconsider if that's what you want to do.
Okay. Can I just move this to federal court?
You can't move a civil infraction in federal court. You don't have jurisdiction in federal court on this.
Can I file a countersuit there?
A countersuit as to what? Because this is not a lawsuit.
Oh, okay.
You can file a suit, but not a countersuit.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.